Hello and welcome back to the Daily Workout. I'm Angela Cripps, the MD of the Recruiting Gym. This week, it's My Life in Recruitment, where we get to delve into the lives of the people that have been there, done that, and had an amazing career in our recruitment industry. And I have to say, I'm so glad I'm getting to catch up with Helen Harvey. Good morning, Helen. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm very well, thank you. Very well, yes.
We've been having a right old chatter because we've not spoken for a long time. I got to work with Helen whilst I was with the wonderful Fiona Landa. I believe Alan did as well, which is why I'm saying in the chat there that he won't heckle. But I don't know your story. And actually looking into your LinkedIn profile, we've got the link in there if you want to find out more about Helen. It's like, oh, okay, there's things in here I definitely didn't know. So let's go to the beginning then.
Way back?
Way back. How did you actually end up in the recruitment industry?
Okay. Well, I guess like most people, Angela, I fell into it. How many times do we hear that, you know? And I started my career as a PA in London. That was what I always wanted to do from a young girl. And from there, but interestingly, one of the jobs I did was with executive recruitment, high level, with what at the time was Pete Marwick Mitchell. So I worked for their executive selection division. I worked as PA to the manager there. So I got a taste for that very high level recruitment. Didn't do it, but I got a taste for it. And while I was in London, I then decided I want to see what this is all about. And I joined what you would call a boutique recruitment business called Elizabeth Hunt Recruitment many years ago, run by a lady called Della Klein. And I worked with Della for a couple of years. I look back on that and I learned so much from her. I learned about standards and quality and people. I look at it now and know that was my foundation into recruitment. Left it, as a lot of people did, went into sales, probably just wanted to be out of an office and doing sales stuff. Found I was quite good at that, but it wasn't something I wanted to do forever. So looked back to recruitment and joined Manpower, where I spent 11 years building a career from a recruiter up to operations director for the south of England. Loved it, wanted to specialise, joined Select Education as MD, and worked with them for 5 years, hugely successful, although it was the time to print money in education. And I did that for 5 years. And then I reached the point which I think a lot of people do when they go into recruitment. And that was, and I felt the need to do something where I felt I was putting something back. And I think so many people do in recruitment. So I went away and found an agency that provided carers to people with spinal cord injury, a company called Active Assistance. And I ran that business for 3 years, and it was the most humbling experience to find the people to work, PAs as we called them, with people with a spinal cord injury. So it was my start to, yes, I want to be in recruitment. Yes, I want to earn the money, which we all do, but I want to do it in an environment where I feel I'm putting something back, and it was amazing. It really was.
And that's what impresses me so much about our industry. I mean, you're saying there with Manpower, you had 11 years and pretty much then built a huge career to then be able to move as an MD to a major company. I mean, what other industries can you do that?
My point, that's the good, isn't it? You talked about good, bad and ugly. That's the good. This industry where you can do that, where you can make your money, but you need to understand it's ruthless. It is. And since I've been doing what I do now, which is about the last 15 years or so, of mentoring and advising recruitment businesses, that's the message I sell every time. You can do this, you can have it all. Hard work, but you can, and you can get there. You don't have to be qualified or have letters after your name. You can be successful if you put in the work, really.
so much variety, like you say, already those 3 different jobs in 3 totally different industries. So you can
Yeah.
really experience the world of
Yes.
work through recruitment. I did 5 different sectors, and you get that insight. You might not be working in them, but that, like you said at the beginning, you were the PA in a recruitment agency. You get that insight, and it's lovely
Mm.
that we see that people sort of get to see what recruitment's about. Go, wait a minute, what's this? This looks good.
It is, and you know, as I said right at the beginning, you know, I fell into it. So many other people do as well. We know we have a high attrition rate in recruitment. We understand that, and that's because some people can't do it. It is ruthless. You know, you talked about the bad, the ugly. It is. You know, it's not for the faint-hearted. You do have to put in the hard work, but you know, you can join a business as a recruiter, and it's the nearest thing you will ever get to running your own business. And that really does sort the wheat from the chaff. Those that want to do that, they want to understand, you know, well, actually, what I do, how much money do I make? What is it worth? What extra can I do that will take me to the next stage? And there is career progression for anyone who wants it in recruitment. There is. You just have to know that it's down to you. It's not down to anybody else.
That was the point yesterday. We had Julie Fode, or a lot of people know her as Julie Poulton, and she said, I missed out on promotions right at the beginning because I didn't tell anyone that I wanted it. It was only when I sort of said, why did they get promoted over me? It's like, we didn't know you wanted it. You have a bit of self-promotion in there. So if that's not in your DNA, get someone else that will promote you, because actually there's no reason. Colleagues around you, they can big you up, they can PR you to the right people as well. And you're right, it's there for the taking. So that's the good about the industry. What about anything bad?
What about the bad and the ugly? I'm going to put them together, Angela. They're hard to separate, but I think one of the things that over the years I've learned is that this industry can generate egotistical monsters. You know, it just can. You know, big egos. I know it all. I can do this. Moved into positions that they're not ready for. They think they are, and they convince everyone around them that they are, and they just are toxic to a business, and I've seen it so many times. In fact, I've worked for one. I'm not going to mention the company, but I did work for one, and she was a nightmare. But I learned from her. So you take something out. Maybe I learned all the bad. Maybe I learned the way I wouldn't do things. And moved on. But those egos are something that can be nurtured and fed in recruitment, and they are dangerous to businesses. They really are. And I think that's one of the things that I now working with businesses as I do, is to say, don't create those people. Don't let those people be created in your business. If they already have, you're going to have to deal with it. But if you haven't, you need to do everything to stop it, because our generation Zs won't work for those people. They find those people toxic, and they don't want those people around them. And that, again, is damaging to a business, because you can lose really good talent. So over the years, I think that's been my, if you like, side of the industry that I didn't particularly like. Don't see it much now, but you do see it.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it, the fact that the industry itself can create them. They might not even be that way to start with, but the power that they get, yes, they're running their own businesses. If they're really good, they get a lot of smoke blown on them, and all of a sudden, the ego comes out. It must have been there to start with. I think it really helps that we've got so many programs now where, I don't know if you watch TV like me, I'm sitting there going, oh, gaslighting, narcissist. We're all aware of these behaviours now, so much so that we can see it. We're like, no, we're not taking that. We can see what you're doing. I'm reacting.
They're the sort of people that don't listen. You see, and this is a listening industry. This is about your people. You know, hear what they're saying, even when they're not saying it. Listen to them. And your ego, people don't do that. They don't listen. They don't hear. They don't hear. And that, again, is something I think, if you're a good recruiter, whatever level, then you listen, because you'll hear what you need to hear. in a business. I think the other bad stroke ugly is, and you're going to relate to this 100%, Angela, people don't train their leaders enough. Go through the stages. They're a brilliant recruiter, fantastic, great relationships with clients. They go to the next stage, team leader, whatever, and they're not trained enough and well enough on their route through. Now, okay, we do work in an industry where, we learn from what goes on around us, and it isn't a difficult industry to understand. But if you don't have those stepping stones of good training, you could well go down the ego route because you think you're doing it right.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? If they're successful, then managers or owners of business, right, just do what you do and get the others to do it as well. Well, no, that's not how management works. Everyone's different. They all learn in different ways, and your style won't be their style. And yeah, that's the issue that we have, isn't it? So all
absolutely,
of a sudden, this person was very successful in one job, they're actually doing a totally different job, but if they've never had any training in it, they can mess it up.
Yeah.
I want to say a couple of hellos. We've got, because we're over on LinkedIn Live as well, and Facebook and YouTube, all these social media channels now. Clive Hutchins and Vanessa Rath both say hello.
Morning, Clive. No, Clive, well.
That rings a bell. Alan's going, although there is a great deal of satisfaction when you get those egos to come round to your way of thinking and working, yes, when you can get them to see what they're doing and they realise it and they can actually change, and people can change, the knowledge to do that. Oh, that is one of the real
it's amazing, isn't it? Yes, I talk a lot about the perception we create, especially in our industry, industry. And how you can change that perception. It will change if you work at it. If you listen to somebody else, whether it's training or it's mentoring or seminars, and you think, yeah, I'm not doing that the right way, you can change. And it's great to see, as Alan says, to see the satisfaction you can get out of watching somebody change that perception and build a better reputation around themselves is it's the rewarding side, I think, of being in anything where you influence the people that work in a business, basically.
And this has been your world for the last 15 years or so, and obviously where I got to work with you as well, where you get to share your knowledge. So what would you say, you're not ready for this one, I didn't have this question for me, but what would you say is the biggest challenge that you're working on at the moment with recruitment companies?
I think that we're still dealing with the challenge of COVID and Brexit and how it has changed our world, let alone our industry, and people to reshape, look again. What people want out of their careers, what do businesses need to do to be successful? So I think we're still dealing with that. Getting people back on the island. It's been a tough year. It's getting better, but it's been a tough year. And getting people to understand that don't lose the faith. It's still there. We're still a brilliant industry, one of the biggest industries in this country. Changed, and our people's expectations are still that it's. And we've all been there, haven't we? That walk in the park. Oh, anyone can do it.
That's the thing that I love about our industry as well. We have so many peaks and troughs over time. And when you've been in it as long as we both have, you've got to be there when it comes back around again. And actually, the data shows that we're at 2019 levels this year. We're not low. It's just we've had such a couple of manic years. People that have come into the industry then think that's how it is. No, we've never had it like that, ever. So in 34 years that I've been doing it, but we have these peaks and troughs, and and
that's the thing, isn't it? That's the need to be ruthless, be focused on what you need to do. Don't lose the plot. Be bullish, and you will find your way through it. As I say, I've just seen a comment about, is Brexit impacting you so much? Great pity. I think it has. We have had to get back to down to us, guys. But I don't. I tell you one thing I love about the recruitment industry. Whatever is thrown at us, whether it's Brexit, whether it's COVID, whether it's legislation changes, we always rise above it. Always, somehow we do. And I love that about the industry. Okay, we need to do it that way, do we? All right, okay, fine. We're
solution people, aren't we? We're solution focused. It's like, okay, another challenge, great, we'll work on that one. So that leads me to our last question for you this morning, Helen. What would be your one piece of advice, if you could only give one, to someone new that's joining our industry now?
Wow. Be ready to, I have to say this, it might not be as sophisticated an answer as you want, Angela. Be ready to put in the hard graft. If you do, you can succeed. You know, be ready. Understand this is not a 9 till 5 job. You don't have to work 24/7, but you do need to put in that extra. If you want what it gives you, the rewards, the money, the status, be ready to put in and treat it as if it were your own business. That's, I think, where I've seen the most success with people coming into this industry. That attitude, that approach takes you such a long way. And I love watching people that come in with that right attitude, because you know where they're going to go. You know they're going to succeed. That passion in what is a industry, or can be. And I love the fact that they come in with that kind of can-do attitude, really. I know it's a very American saying, but...
We're talking of that, American. I watched The Founder again at the weekend, and I hadn't realised, I hadn't picked up on it the first time, but one of the people in one of the original McDonald's stores had that can-do attitude, was hustling, was making a difference. And Ray Kroc, who built all the franchises, moved out, identified him, saw him, said, "What's your name?" And picked out. He ended up running the company. When
there you go.
Billions. It was, and he was there flipping burgers. And that's where
how heartwarming story is that? You know, that you don't have to be, you know, Einstein to go somewhere in this industry. You just need to believe and have the passion for it, really. And if you haven't got the passion for it, get out of it, because it's not the right industry for you. You have to have that passion. And most of the people I meet and that I work with, I see that, and it's so rewarding for me. You know, clients wouldn't be working with me if they didn't have that passion. And I love it. There's a little thing I take from the industry, always.
We do get to see the real good in the industry, don't we? Because those are the people that want to develop, want to grow, want to pick it from there. You've got a couple of fans there as well. Rebecca Collins saying 100% agree with this. Helen, Dean Marston saying great to listen.
Morning, Dean. I know Dean well.
and I might say this wrong. Ignatius Kratos also agrees with your takes, Helen. Do you know Ignatius?
I don't know. What an amazing name. Love the name.
Amazing.
Morning, Ignatius.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Helen. It's been lovely to catch up.
I really enjoyed it.
We won't leave it this long next time. We're going to keep it a little bit more. It's been a bit too long. Wonderful. Have a great day, everyone. We're back tomorrow with Stephen O'Donnell. If you want to hear his story, can't wait to hear all of his. And 15 to 20 minutes with him tomorrow morning. Brilliant. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.